students are always rapping. They like to repeat what other rappers rap. So they use the N word, and they use it also as if it was hi, a hi, hello. Instead of saying hello or hi, they say hi, nigga, and it really bothers me when I hear it because I have not. I guess I have not internalized it yet. I approach my students and I told them, why do they use it? And one says, I don't know. I just use it because everybody else uses it. There's nothing wrong with it. I said, but that's a negative word, and I don't want you to use it in the classroom.
Some of my students will say, oh, we know about that history, but we're not saying nigger, we're saying nigga with an A, so it really doesn't matter. Plus, we're black, so we can use it, and so we don't mean anything. We're just saying the person's ignorant or whatever, or a friend. And that's all well and good, and I understand what they're saying, but I still firmly believe that no matter how you change the spelling or the pronunciation of that word, it still goes back to the history of enslavement of African people in the U.S. and the psychological and ideological means by which the people who held slaves justified that enslavement of African people.
The article that I gave you, Let's Make a Slave, I use that in one part of my sessions, is I take that pamphlet, I give it to the students, tell them to go home. They have a week to get rap music, go through the rap music and pick out 1 or 2 songs and bring the actual words to class. Once they're in class, I tell them to take that article about Let's Make a Slave, and I tell them to take, you know, the lyrics and see how much of it matches back and forth. The words, the tone, the anger, the deplimentation, you know, how it is for to degrade the women and to degrade ourselves, and how you're supposed to be, you know, the big shot, and, you know, the top nigger in the house. What happens is by the time the class is over, most of them are highly upset about the rap artists they've been listening to because they find there's so much words that go directly to let's how to make a slave.
Some years ago, a colleague of mine, Miss Walden, who actually has her own school in Brooklyn now, we conducted a workshop on the N-word, and we had a mixture of Black and Latino students, and we went into explaining the origin of the word, how the word is used, why the word was used. And for the most part, a lot of them came out of the workshop vowing that they would not use the word anymore. But then another set said, even though we completed the workshop, they didn't feel the word was offensive. That was the old definition and the old reasoning for use of the word, and they were going to continue to use the word.
I noticed that most of the faculty, when they hear the word, they don't correct it. They don't look at the students or try to show them that that's not the way, because students have been using it so regularly.
Do you correct it?
I correct it. I usually say, do not use that word in this classroom. I don't want to hear that word. That's a negative word.
I have seen some teachers not correct students when using that word, and I think perhaps it's because they feel that it makes them out of touch with young people, or I mean, I can't really speak for them, but I can just imagine that some feel perhaps if they're white teachers, they don't have it's not their place to correct a black person using the N-word. I don't know. But I think that all teachers, whatever background, any kind of racist or dehumanizing language does not have a place in a classroom.
But there's children, the Indian, they use the word nigger, but they really are using it as a friend just to assimilate. You could tell that. But the bilingual children, the Hispanic ones, they use also to assimilate. They use the N-word to assimilate also, but they, at times, they say, oh yeah, I saw ese negro, yo vi ese negro, I saw that nigger. And then that's when I say to them, don't call anyone that word. That's a negative word. And I have children of color who are black children, and they're Dominicans. And I was observing how they their feelings, how they felt when another child called them, another student called them a black nigger. So, and I said, oh, he's not. I said, he's black. Yes, he's black, but don't call him the word nigger. And he said, and I could see in their face that they got hurt. Like, I'm not black, because they're Dominicans, or let's say they're Puerto Ricans, and they don't consider themselves black because society has accepted them as other instead of calling them black also. So I tell them, yes, you're black and you should be proud of it. And then that's when I say that I'm black also, and that of my 3 races that are made in the Puerto Rican, well, in my family, it's black, white, and Indian. And so, and that they should be very proud, because if they listen to their music and they learn about their culture, they should be very proud of themselves. And that really what matters is not skin color, does not matter. It's how you behave and how you are as a person. That is what counts, and your character is what counts.